All right, so some breaking news coming in. Ryan Garcia and Mario Barrios finalizing a WBC welterweight title fight in the beginning of 2026. Now, this was pretty much expected that this was going to happen. Ryan talked about him wanting to go after Barrios. This is probably one of his better opportunities to go out and finally get himself that world title. Barrios is definitely one of the most beatable world champions, if not the most beatable world champion in the sport right now. He, in my opinion, lost the fight with Pacquiao earlier this year, which Pacquiao coming in at 46 years old. So definitely a lot of big-time vulnerability. And while Ryan, doesn't really deserve this title fight, coming off of a loss against Rolly Romero, he is still one of the biggest stars in boxing right now and still has some incredible youth and potential. So definitely can see why DAZN is putting this fight together. Now, what is really interesting about this matchup to me is if Ryan ends up winning, which in my opinion, I think that he absolutely will. I think that his speed and his ability to impose on Barrios, especially combined if he can come in a lot more aggressive like he was in the Devin Haney fight, Barrios tends to be very, very tentative. So I do see Ryan potentially winning this fight. But if Ryan does win this fight and Devin Haney wins his fight against Brian Normer Jr. that's coming up in November, we now not only have the ability to make this rematch again with him and Devin Haney, but you would actually have a welterweight unification bout between those two for the WBC and IBF titles. And combined into that, the fact that Ryan likely would want to get his get back against Rolly Romero, slowly but surely, you could have Ryan potentially becoming the WBC, IBF, and WBA welterweight champion, which would be absolutely huge for his career and skyrocket him when it comes to his accolades within the sport. So Ryan, despite some of his shortcomings, especially in recent fights against Rolly and Tank, he still has a big-time path to really pave himself out a career, especially within the welterweight position, and to make himself the biggest name in the sport instead of just being one of the biggest. So let me know what you think about this fight. Who do you think will win? Definitely am excited to see Ryan back in the ring to see if he can come back with that anger, that aggression, and can impose on Barrios. And maybe Barrios will end up surprising us and end up beating him, maybe setting up a rematch with Manny Pacquiao in the future. We'll have to see, but really, really interesting fight.